hats on.
Evening, evening.
Evening, evening. Give me a
Oh, I can
five
even
by
see.
five.
I can even see chat on my phone.
Mm, that's good. Yeah, that's why I like the YouTube stuff. You
I
know,
hadn't.
yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I could post a chat. It keeps on saying go live and live chat, but I can't type it to the chat yet. That's just one of those weird, stupid fucking things. Loretta, how are ya? Tina, Ladybug. Everybody got to say their hellos and
Oh
their
yeah,
evenings and
give them a minute to pile in here.
oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, there it comes.
I know everybody's excited. I'm excited. Shoot fire! This is like a rare treat getting you on here. My word. Tomcat's World's in the house. Northern Girl Hobbies. Hey, darling, why ain't you blue? Let's make you blue. What in the world? What's going on with that? Stands Alone is in the house. Widow's Diary. Mm-hmm. You better have your tinfoil hats out. That's all I got to tell you. JW
Seatbelts
Survival.
and tinfoil hats are required.
That's right. See, we already know what's up. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah, we started just a tad bit early, but we had some technical difficulties with that sucky ass StreamYard. I don't understand what's wrong with that shit. It did that to me the last time I tried to use it. I'm just gonna take it totally off there. It's a pain in my ass.
I have never used it with multiple people on there, so
Mm-hmm.
I definitely don't know.
Well, I thought I'd try it because I was watching Rescue and he uses a lot of StreamYard,
Right.
and I thought, well, let me give it a try. Maybe I could have more people on a panel, stuff like that. But you know what? I'm old school. I like it real freaking simple. Um,
Right.
I like all this extra and
I'm
stuff. All right.
multifunction enough. I don't need to multifunction on YouTube.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
Multitasking.
I tell you, sometimes I just don't know what to think. The shit that comes across that YouTube or any social media now. I got kicked off Twitter. I got kicked off Facebook. Well, I mean, I can post kittens and lollipops, and that'll go over just fine. But anything of any substance, it gets knocked down real quick.
Well, I have
And stuff.
only been on the YouTubes. I haven't signed up or done anything else. Never been on anything else. And
Yeah,
don't plan in.
I, if I did have to, I'd be totally off all this stuff. uh I got to get to a spot to where I can't get totally off all of it, because once I go dark, I'll be going dark. Two old people on the couch. Good to see y'all. Glad
I
you're here.
did.
Glad you're here. Y'all feel free to share your links and share other links. Two old people on the couch. I'm gonna make y'all blue because I know y'all straight up. I know y'all's uh through actually through Nunya is how I found y'all's channel. So I mean, he's got a lot of love. Y'all better have y'all's hats on. That's all I got to tell you. Little Frenchie in Big Texas. Hello, ma'am. How are you, darling? We gotta make you blue too, sugar. And if y'all don't know, that's Nunya's better half. Uh,
Definitely the better half.
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. All right. Well, everybody's starting to show up a little bit. So we're going to start with this. I got 40 questions.
40
Now,
questions.
not that 40 questions. Instead of, I thought 20 questions was just so cliche. So I figured we'd do 40. Uh, you know,
40 ought to get
but
down into the peanut butter.
oh yeah, yeah. But I don't think that they're irrelevant questions because they make you think and they'll allow you to go off down a rabbit hole if necessary to make sure everybody's got their tinfoil hats on and their thinking caps on. And I'm
Right,
very
right.
honored to have you on here. Like I
Well,
said,
thank
you
you.
you just like a bright star for me.
Well,
All right.
thank you. Thank you.
So some people may not know about your channel. Tell us a little bit about your channel. What started it?
It was a couple of different things. For one, I've been in this lifestyle for pretty much my whole life. So I knew that I had knowledge and information and things that I could share with people to help.
Yeah.
Uh, and I also wanted to save memories for my kids. I know we got lots of old photos. I got photos laying around here, but it's just a photo. And in today's technology with video and, you know, you, YouTube being free and they store your video and it's forever online, you can do things and record for, generations to see in the future. So
Right.
making a video log for my kids was another reason I wanted to make videos.
I think that's really cool because a lot of people don't think about it like that as a legacy type informational thing,
Sure.
because a lot of times your kids they really don't know the parents. They're around them all the time, but they don't know what makes them tick, and they can look back on this and say, "Dad was right."
Well,
Dad
yeah,
knew what he's talking about. Mom was right. She knew what she was talking about. Look how, yeah, I love how y'all homeschool the kids. I that's just really admirable because they'll fuck them up if you send them over there to public schools. They'll fuck them up the first day. You know,
definitely.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
give all of that credit toward Anne. I mean, obviously, it was a decision that we made together, but it does take up a lot of her time and effort, and she puts a lot into it to actually make it possible. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do. That's why
yeah,
most parents just don't do it anymore, is because it's not convenient to have your kids at home all the time. But in all honesty, her and the way she's taught and the way they run schools today, kids are run through like cattle.
yeah,
And, classrooms are 30 kids and they have a teacher and maybe an assistant. And each one of those kids in that hour get 2 minutes. And then that teacher has to move along to the next kid, whether your kid gets it or not. And they get what the teacher tells them, not maybe the truth or what's actually going on or real world scenario.
right,
And can take that same hour at home and spend with our two kids. And it's like they just got a whole week's worth of public school in that 1 hour.
yeah,
So I would highly recommend to anybody that has any inclination or want to try and homeschool their kids to do it. You will see an immediate difference in your kids, the way they act around other kids. It's unbelievable, and I really give that credit to Anne because she takes the time to actually do it.
yeah. I love it. I love it. And your girls, they just seem to thrive. I mean, they just bubble.
Well, there
Whenever I see them.
again in today's world, there are so many activities for homeschool kids. It's not really the cliche that you used to get that they don't socialize and they're not around other kids and all that other kind of stuff. I mean, they have things specifically designed for homeschool kids now, things at museums and parks and
Yep.
zoos, and all of that are geared toward a lot of homeschooled kids. So
Oh
they
yeah.
still get that social interaction with other kids.
Oh yeah. I see. I hated it whenever they sent my grandson to public schools, and I mean, like the second day, I was like, I can tell you're in public schools. Let me tell you something, grandson. And it's been, I don't know,
I don't
de-education every
agree at
time I come
all with
around.
what they do at public school. I don't
Yeah.
agree with it at all, and I don't have to. And we have that option to keep our kids from that. And I would definitely tell anybody to go that route if they possibly could.
Hell
It makes a
yeah.
world of difference.
Hell yeah. JW Survivals did y'all. Hello, everybody. We didn't say hello to you. Okay. Second question. Now, this is a good one for you. What conspiracy that you thought was crazy but actually occurred? Like some,
Well,
yeah.
since I'm a pretty imaginative, open-minded person, most of the normal conspiracy theories that would affect people, aliens and Bigfoot and things like
Hmm,
that,
hmm.
don't bother me. Uh, But probably the one that affects me the worst is growing up as a kid, uh, always hearing, not always, but occasionally hearing how bad the government was, and they didn't want to help people, and they really weren't here for us. And I never really wanted to believe that growing up. I thought America was the greatest place in the world, and you could live the American dream, and you were going to grow up and get married and have a pretty little picket fence, and it was all going to be good. And
Yeah.
then you grow up and become an adult and learn the true facts of what's really going on, and you realize that you are living in a police state under a tyrannical government, and they're taxing you to death, and you're really not free. And I didn't want to believe that conspiracy theory, but yet here it is today, all true in every form and every color.
Yeah, it's
So
fucking sickening.
finding out, that my own government is really against me is the one conspiracy theory that I didn't want to believe that has definitely come true.
Yeah. My excuse me, I spoke in the gotcha. My grandfather used to tell me, he's old school, old Phil, roughneck, totally. He used to say, you better watch out for all these son of bitches, because they're not what they say they are. They're trying to take over the world, and everybody thought he was shell shocked and fucking crazy back in the day. He's like,
Yep.
you better start bottling water and saving water. It'll become the more precious than gold.
Yep.
I mean, he told
Yep.
me all kinds of stuff. And listening to him over the years, everything that he told me to watch out for, and I have, has come to pass. Them
It
some
is
bitches,
all.
they
It's
don't
all
give a
happened.
they don't give a fuck. They want that new world order. They want
Yeah.
that reset. And I tell people all the time, I said the reset don't start in 2030, fuckers. It's starting right fucking now. You
It
know?
really started 100 years ago in 1913.
There you
They had
go.
it planned out then. The Rothschilds, J.P. Morgan Chase, those people, the Windsor family, they had it planned out 100 years ago. They knew
Yep.
what they were doing. They knew the outcomes. You only have to go back in history and look at history, look at what people were saying. Look, it's all right there in black and white. And they have done it to us. I mean, it has all gotten us to this point. We are all dependent on the system. We all like to
That's
think
true.
we're independent and that we could get along and we could do without it and all this kind of stuff. But
Hmm.
in all honesty, we are all very dependent on the system.
That's true. That's true, because I think the only true way to not even be dependent upon the system is to go totally nomadic, live in the fucking woods, not use a cell phone, not use the internet, not use any social services, and even then you're still dependent because you have to have their freaking money to buy the goods that you need,
That
and
becomes
I'm
part
just
of the
like,
whole thing.
damn.
Most people's idea of off grid, our mine and you that come from that old generation, our idea is disappearing into the woods. All you
Mm-hmm.
see is assholes and elbows, and that's it.
Yeah.
And this genre today of off grid living, just because you may not have power running in your house, you think you're off grid, and
Right.
that's not off grid.
Right. You got a post
Every
office, you got a
person,
mailbox.
yeah, every person runs down to Home Depot and buys their lumber, and every person has a vehicle in their driveway that they pay taxes on and registration on
Mm-hmm.
and get their driver's license and have to pay their insurance, and everybody complies to that system. And we depend on that system. That's the culture that we have been born into and raised for the last 100 years.
Yeah, and that
Convenience and
whole,
ease.
oh yeah, the whole idea of what I like to call Grizzly Adams,
Yes.
a little house on the prairie type. Even then, it would, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, but to
It,
achieve that situation to where you are living out in the boondocks and you are supplying your own food and you're hunting and fishing and all of this kind of good stuff, it takes a lot of money to get there.
yes, it does.
I mean, it ain't like Little House on the Prairie where they just rode the wagon out there and built a log house. That doesn't happen
Hmm.
today.
No, no, and they
It's,
make it to where it can't happen.
yeah, I mean, it's nice to see that play on YouTube, but the reality of the world, that's not how it happens.
No, hell no, no. Okay, so let me ask you this. Now you told us about it being like a legacy, a documentary for your kids and stuff. What else do you get out of having the YouTube channel? I mean, does it help you to know that you are actually helping other people who are just kind of stupid a lot of times?
Uh, yeah, I wouldn't throw everybody into that stupid category quite so quick, but generally the people that are finding my videos are people that are wanting to learn.
Right, there you
And
go.
getting the positive feedback on YouTube from the thousands and thousands of comments on the videos, I respond to every comment that I get on every
Hmm.
video that I make.
Yep,
I try and interact with people. So
same
getting
here.
all of those responses of people saying, they learned something, they're going to try something, they're going to do something, they're, from my video, I've inspired them to do this or to try that. That makes it worth it within itself right there.
Yeah,
But
that's the same
also
guy.
from YouTube, what I did not expect was to actually meet so many good people.
Yes.
I was not expecting that. I have made some really, really good friends, people that I have met personally in person. And, I was really not expecting that from YouTube because you think you're out here in the middle of nowhere and, you're reaching these people all over the world. And yet you're able to meet someone that may just be 40, 50, miles from you.
Exactly. I find that just to be like amazing what a small world it actually gets down to, you know.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
And there are
yeah.
so many people around you that actually think like you do, that
Mhm.
want to do what you do.
Hell
And
yeah.
it's just making that connection with those people is sometimes the hardest thing to do.
It is because I found for myself after we get over that first hurdle, it becomes a trust thing. Can I actually
Sure.
trust this person? Because I
Yeah.
am putting myself out there, but I'm
Sure.
also trying to make connections and meet like-minded people. And that's
Yes.
where I've had that struggle with that little trust area. Are they who they say they are? Are they not?
Yeah. Yeah.
And and I like to make that personal connection like that as well.
For sure.
Um, now I know you have a massive homestead, man. Kudos to y'all. That y'all's homestead is like off the charts. But what is your prepping, survivalist, personal projects that you're working on right now?
Well, obviously it's a springtime and the garden is going in.
Yeah,
We hatch chickens pretty much year round.
yeah,
Uh, I'm always expanding around here. I'm trying to expand the goat pen now. The house is not finished, so I'm still continually working on the house projects. Uh, it's 20, 22 acres, so it's enough to maintain. Plus, we have other businesses and houses that we have to maintain and take care of.
yeah.
And oh yeah, I stay pretty busy.
Yeah, I was telling a friend of mine, I told her I was doing this live and stuff. I said he works like 20 hours a day, and I feel like I'm kind of taking time away from him because he only got 4 hours to himself. You know?
It is pretty much a sun up to sundown
Yeah,
job 7 days a week. I
yeah.
mean,
And see, that's what I don't understand because I've watched a lot of channels and they call them, and I'm not a homesteader. I ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out at this point. But I know of it, and I understand the sacrifice that it takes. And I'll see these channels come up and say, "Well, I'm homesteaded," and that's all there is. They're not putting in the hours. There ain't nothing shown, no production, no moving forward. It's just
right.
a lot of
Well, a lot
hoo.
of people just think that living out into the country is homesteading.
Yeah,
And some people, again, you get into that. You, YouTube tries and puts people in all these boxes. You know, you got the preppers
Mm-hmm.
and you got the homesteaders and you got the survivalists and you got this and that and that. And when you're really into preparedness, it involves all of that. I mean,
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
if you're really preparing for a long term situation, my preparedness, the way that I look at it is, I'm not looking for the world to end. And, you know, I'm not expecting the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
For me and my family to be able to sit out here on our homestead and provide everything that we need for
Hmm.
ourselves going forward is the ultimate goal for me, because
Yeah.
I see in the future a harder time where food is not going to be plentiful, where you may
Hmm.
not be able to get oranges or lemons, where fresh chicken may be a commodity that you can only afford once a week or once a month. I want to be able to raise those things and have those things on my own without outside help.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I know personally people right now that have told me within the last year, and I've been on their ass and they thought I was crazy for years. They finally opened up and started listening. They can't even afford to buy meat out the store no more. You know, they're on
Yeah,
a
well,
fixed income. You know, they can't do nothing. They're freaking stuck, you know. And a lot of people
that is
take
the
that for
whole
granted.
that's the whole part of their plan, is to
Mm-hmm.
make everything unaffordable. We've all heard Klaus say you're going to own nothing and be happy.
That's
And,
right.
you know, people want to deny that it's happening or put their head in the sand or whatever. And the reality of it is, it is going on every day. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
more and more people are losing their homes and their cars and their jobs, and interest rates are too high, and young kids can't buy homes, and younger families can't afford homes, and people can't afford rent an apartment. So their
Yeah.
agenda moving forward of you're going to own nothing and be happy is happening.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
In real
they
time.
are taking, it's all, the machine is already rolling.
Oh yeah, it is. Sometimes I find myself panicking about it, but I'm like, that's what they want you to fucking do. Step
Yeah.
back,
Yes.
turn off, unplug, and
Yep.
just fuck them because they're not gonna get off into my head. I got to keep my mindset focused, or it's gonna tear your ass up. You know.
Yes. It is. You know, I've been at it 20 plus years. I saw it back when I was a young guy and knew the way that this was all heading was not going
Hmm.
to be good.
Hell
And
yeah.
the important things to me back then, 20 years ago, were to own a little piece of land where,
Hmm.
you know, I could take care of myself and do things for myself out in the country. Very
Hell
simple,
yeah.
very straightforward.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that this, it takes some planning, and effort and hard work to get to the point to where you're at. You just can't expect to jump off and be right there without putting any
There,
type of sweat equity into it.
a
It
lot of
just
people
doesn't
think
work
it's
that
going
way.
to be easy and that, you know, they're going to sell out at the last minute and they're going to cash in all of their Bitcoin and they're going to run out here and buy a farm and have chickens and pigs and all the little things that they need. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
that's not going to happen either. They're going to wind up with a big dead garden, a lot of dead animals, and a
Hell
lot of
yeah.
blood, sweat, and tears down the drain.
Yeah, they're gonna be calling those people on what is it, Lifetime, come fix my homestead.
Yeah, please
Uh,
come fix my homestead. I mean, the simplest things that, you know, I don't see it gathered from like YouTube and a preparedness long term standpoint, even chickens being the simplest thing.
yeah,
I mean, just consider how many times do most people eat chicken in a week?
yeah.
In most families, now that beef is so expensive, chicken is becoming the meat that people are going to. So let's
That's
just say
exactly
you
right.
eat chicken 3 times a week, half of the week. Well, the chicken, first thing is that you raise out here on the farm is not going to look anything like that big, nice, fat chicken breast that you buy in the store. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So the chicken that you're actually going to harvest out here on the farm is going to be about half of what you're buying in the store.
Yeah, because it's
Okay,
not
so
radiated or
yeah, it
doped
don't
up.
go near as far, and that chicken ain't going to give you 2 meals. It's only going to give you one. All right, so that is
Yeah.
3 chickens a week that you need to kill. There's 52 weeks in a year. That's 106 chickens that you need, 156 chickens that you need just to
Yeah.
eat this year.
Yeah. And how many is that for? One or two?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Not very many. So if
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
ain't got 156 chickens, you need to start the other 156 chickens for next year because it
That's
takes
right.
7 months to get them there ready to eat.
Yeah.
So
And a lot of
to
people
even
don't
make it,
realize
you're
that.
considering having over 200 chickens.
And that's a production right there. That
Yeah,
takes
all
time
in
and effort.
itself.
They
If
got to
you're
be fed.
preparing to raise chickens to eat through shit hits the fan, you need a couple of hundred chickens to start.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And, if not, you're going to be supplementing your diet with tree bark. Just saying.
Yes,
You
yes,
know, you're going to supplement it with that. All right. Let me
yes.
ask you this. What's your opinion on the grass is greener on the other side?
The grass is always greener on the other side.
Right?
What are you going to do about it? You got your grass on this side. I don't trespass, so I ain't going to cross the fence and find out about the grass on the other side.
There you go. There you go. I ask that people because it's about perspective and boundaries and stuff.
Yeah, it's
And
always greener on the other side. It looks like
yeah,
it's greener. It
yeah,
tastes the same as your grass, I guarantee it.
right. Well, I don't know about up here in Lubbock. All I got is dirt.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, all that dirt tastes the same. It's just like that on the other side of the fence too.
yeah. Okay, let me ask you this. What was the scariest moment in your life and what did or how did you react to it? It don't have to be personal.
It was probably the birth of my kids. Scared the hell out of me
Why's that?
because you want everything to go right.
Yeah. And they don't
You
come with
know?
instruction manuals, do they?
No, there ain't no written instruction for that. And
I learned that the hard way. I was like looking through the book. There's no instructions for this
no,
situation.
no, it was if for anybody that's been there, you understand it's a pretty intense situation.
Hell yeah, it is. All right, red or blue pill and why?
Well, I would say black.
Okay, okay. I've gotten that before. Why's that?
Well, if I was being honest, I'd probably have to put myself in some category of anarchist
Oh, there you go.
because I believe in true freedom,
Right on.
that no man has any authority over any other man. And, to find people that really believe in true freedom is, you don't find it these days. I
Yeah.
mean, everybody's idea of freedom is different, but a true freedom, I've heard you say it on your channel before. I'd rather have dangerous freedom than, secure protection.
Yeah, yeah.
Just and that freedom, true freedom, is very difficult for most people to understand. Now, saying that I'm in that anarchist box over there does not necessarily mean I'm anti-government.
Mhm.
We live in a world to where we need people to associate with the rest of the world, as in our government. The way they do it, I don't agree with it all today. I'll be the first guy to stand up right up there in front of the line and say I don't agree with it. But just in the world that we live, we need some form of government to work with the world,
Yeah.
but not necessarily to get up and tell us when to brush our teeth and what color pants to wear and who we can talk to and what we can say and all of those kinds of things.
Right, right. Exactly. I agree with you on that. I don't even know if I would even take a fucking pill because I'm so used to doing my best just to do the fucking opposite of what everybody says,
Right.
and believe in the opposite.
I'm definitely of the mindset anything that the government is telling us, I'm going to turn around and do the direct opposite for sure.
Exactly. Exactly. Let me ask you this. This is on a personal goal thing. What are you doing to make yourself a better person for tomorrow every day? Is there something, a mantra that you tell yourself, or something that you tell yourself one more day? What is that you draw from to push yourself to that?
Uh, Try and be a better father.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Uh, a better spouse,
Oh, that's
a
wonderful.
better
Yeah.
friend, a better family member. Uh, it's important to be there, kind of situation thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I
that's
mean,
hard to come by too.
yeah, I wish I could help everybody, but
Hmm.
the world is too big a place, and there's just too many people. So you
Yeah.
start
Yeah.
with the
Well,
people around you, close to you, and you work that community out as far as you can.
hell
And
yeah.
the better you treat the people around you and yourself, the better you're going to be treated. I mean,
I agree
it
with
goes
you
back
on
to
that.
the old saying, treat people the way you want to be treated. Pretty,
Exactly.
pretty simple.
Exactly. I think that's a very important thing, because a lot of people, they just treat people any old kind of way. I've seen it. They just
They don't
treat
care.
you any old kind of way. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then they want to
they
get
really,
upset whenever you stomp their fucking ass, you
yeah,
know?
people don't care anymore in this society.
No,
I mean,
no.
it's it can't get any simpler than that. They simply really just don't care. I
Well, I
mean, I
got one
know
for you.
personally I wouldn't last long. I mean, we do have a house down in Houston, but I don't
Yeah.
have to deal with that city.
I
Uh,
can't stand Houston.
I couldn't live in a big city like that because I'm the
Yes.
kind of guy that I'm walking by and I see some dude beating a chick or raping a chick on the subway or something like that. They're
Yeah.
fixing lead. I
Yeah.
mean, that again to me, it boils back down to morals and crime. And, when you're guilty and you should be dealt with accordingly, swiftly, and justly.
I
And
agree with that.
we have gotten away from that in our society. That's one reason it's just gone completely to shit. And, anybody that would walk by, the story that was out last year or whatever, where the woman got raped up there on the subway in Philly or New York or
Yeah.
wherever it was, and people were standing around videoing and taking pictures and all that.
Yeah.
That when you live in that kind of society, I don't even want to be in that kind of society.
Yeah.
Each one of those people should have been held accountable.
Yeah,
That's
I'm telling you what, I would have got up there, wiped my ass off, and started kicking some fucking
yeah,
ass. You
yeah,
motherfuckers, y'all didn't bother to
yeah,
help me. I'm gonna go clean left on you. You know, I'm
yeah.
gonna go clean left on you. Okay, well, I got one for you, and I know you've thought this out and stuff. And there's a lot of people who don't think this out because they don't realize the amount of time that it takes to go through this just to get to this point. But if you had 3 hours before total collapse, I mean total collapse, ain't shit working. We're back to, before telephones, before electricity, all that kind of shit, and you knew about it, what would be the top 5 things that you would complete within that 3 hours? And only you know about
Uh, get my family together, prepare the weaponry, top off my animal food supply, fill up fuel, and call everybody I know. Fair warning.
it. Yeah. Now, could you get all that done in 3 hours, you think? And that's loading and doing all that. Could that be managed? Everybody on point.
Yes. We have somewhat of a plan. I mean, my wife knows
There
if
you
I
go.
make the call and tell her to leave, she can probably have that vehicle packed in less than 15 minutes. She'll
Yeah.
probably not make it here in 3 hours, but she'll be relatively close. So,
Yeah.
you should be able to make it.
Well, see,
Uh,
yeah.
you know, the stuff I keep around here, no problem. My
Yeah.
feed store is 30 minutes away. So, what supplies I would have to top off are less than, 30, 45 minutes from my house.
Yeah. And you wouldn't have the congestion and all that stuff to worry
No.
about because nobody else knows about it. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of people that I've come across and I've talked to, even out in public, family members, even here on YouTube in comments, I wonder, I know what it's going to take me. I've had to add some time. to mine because of my back. I can't carry like I used to, so
Right.
everything is, I'll have to make several trips just to get everything into the vehicle to bug out, you
Right.
know. And I was like, damn, girl, you're going to get your ass strung up. You keep pussyfooting around. You better put some pep in your step. And I'm like, give me some steroids. I'm done. Uh, but a lot of people don't realize the time that it takes to plan that out and actually execute it and
Well,
practice it.
you also got to have the mindset and the mentality to realize that when you only have those few hours left, 99% of the crap that you have doesn't matter anymore.
Right.
That $100,000 house or that $1 million house that you live in and that Porsche you got sitting in the driveway and all that bullshit in your house is now useless.
Exactly.
So the
I
real
stopped.
important
Yeah.
thing should have already been taken care of and ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree with you on that. Because when I decided to liquidate everything, I got rid of all that shit. Knickknacks. What if
Yes.
I couldn't use it out in the fucking bush? I
Yeah.
didn't have it.
It's getting
All
it's
the
getting to
pretty
that
little.
point, and people are beginning to realize that because they're getting kicked out of their house. I mean, they're losing their house. So what good is all that shit in your house if you don't even have a house now?
Right.
I mean, the society is coming down, it's funneling down to that point.
Yeah. Yeah. I
All
think
of
they're
this,
bottlenecking us right now.
yeah, all of this is, keeping up with the Joneses and having the big house and the fancy boat and all of that crap is catching up
Mm-hmm.
now.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I told my kids, they're like, well, what do you want for your birthday? I said, cash.
Yeah.
Well, what else you want? I said, shotgun, 45. I mean, these are things that
Ammunition.
they're useful,
Yeah,
you know?
ammunition.
Yeah. Everything to go with it. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you
what I
can
want.
buy an ounce of gold for $2,100 that won't do a damn thing for you, but look good in your safe in there. It looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
Or you go buy $2,000 worth of ammunition, and it's going to go up 50% next week.
Oh yeah.
So you just doubled your money on ammunition, and gold went up $3.
Right. And
That
you secured your
ammunition can kill a
safety.
deer, can shoot a rabbit, can protect you,
Mm-hmm.
it can do the top 5 prepper list item things.
Right.
You got gold and I got ammunition.
Right. Well, I got enough ammunition. If I have to go there, I might take your fucking gold. Uh, just saying. Uh,
Yeah. You
people
can
do weird
you can
shit.
take the silver or you can take the lead.
That's right. Your choice. I'm not particular on all that. Let me get that light back on. All right. Let me see. Let me ask you this. Now, I know you've got this figured out, but I'm going to ask you anyway. If you had to bug in during total collapse, now this is bugging in right where you're at, and let's say, and the girls, they couldn't get to where you were at, what would y'all do? How do y'all handle that? I mean, I know you've planned it, you
I'm
know what
going to
I'm
get them.
saying?
Wherever it is, I'm going to get them.
There you have it. There
Yeah.
you have
I mean, I'm not leaving them for the world to eat.
it. There you go. And see, I'm glad to hear that, because a lot of people are like, well, they might have to make it to me, or they're just stuck
No,
where they're at.
no, no.
You know, I'm gonna leave whatever I've got over here, whether it's everything I've got, to go get them. That's what matters. And
Yeah.
I love that answer. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's say y'all had to leave where you're at, Houston and the farm.
Yes.
What would y'all do? What would be just what would you do if you didn't have to do all the feed and all that stuff, and you had to actually bug out from where your actual bug out locations are at?
I could pick any direction depending on what it was that I had to leave for, but I have backup locations to go to with friendly people, plenty of supplies, all, full, the whole deal. I can pick a direction and go.
Right.
I would implore that every person out there should be making those connections in your community. I mean, it
Right
doesn't
on.
matter if they're 2 states over. That may be where you need to go. So you might need to have a friend in Arkansas, or you might
Exactly.
need to have a friend in Oklahoma. Our family, we know people as far south as Argentina.
Oh, wow, that's
I mean,
sweet.
y'all know Ann is from Europe. I mean,
Hmm.
we have passports. How far do I need to go?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
wherever it is that I need to achieve safety is I'm going to swim the ocean, climb the mountain, dig the ditch, whatever's got to be done.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And a lot of people don't think about that. They think, well, it's just going to be within my state. And I
Yeah.
went on well, I guess you could call it like a quest several years ago because I wanted to go plan my bug out routes. I wanted to take dirt roads. I wanted to go through mountain passes. I wanted to take the least road traveled, to go to all these places and find my spots and, and just really break it down. And it took me about 3 months,
Well, there
you
are
know.
so many scenarios that when people start going down that rabbit hole, if it's a meteor strike, what how are you going to travel? Well, if it's the tsunami, how deep is the water going to be? Well, if it's a biological, which direction do you got to go? If it's nuclear, where did it hit? I mean, there are so many rabbit holes that you can go down on what might happen. An EMP and everything is out.
Yeah.
Now, that's part of being prepared. I don't care what it is. It could have been a meteor strike on top of an EMP that flooded half of the US. If I'm still alive and breathing, I'm going to fight for my life, my family's life, whatever we got to do to get to safety to continue to be alive.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm gonna hit my knees probably on my way down to die. That's
Yeah.
when I'll get on my knees and beg for whatever they got for me.
Right. I got you. I got you on that. Oh, here's a fun question. It's a fantasy mag. If you could have anybody in your mag in the world besides the people that you have now, if you had a fantasy mag, let's say, I want, the Hulk, or I mean, it could be anybody or anything. What would your fantasy mag be? Like fantasy football,
Uh, uh,
the best players.
yeah, well, my goodness. Hmm. It would probably, I only deal in reality, so it would probably be somebody real.
Yeah.
Uh, I'll tell you, if I could have one person back, it would probably be my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a hell of a character and a very wise man. So
I believe it.
I could take some more information and knowledge from him.
Well,
I
I
regret
believe it
not
because,
listening to him as I was a younger kid growing up because he was pretty
yeah.
damn smart.
Well, he raised a smart man. I know that much. And I didn't even know the feller. Uh, you know, yeah, yeah. That's cool because sometimes people will go off and do all this. For me, I might go anywhere with it. I'm in fantasy and reality all the fucking time. Especially after I smoke, so there ain't no telling where we might go with this shit. Uh,
Right? Yeah. For the
yeah,
purposes of everyday use and making it through the shit, I would have to say dad.
you right on. Okay. Now I know you've got a lot to say to people who are new to preparedness. And there's a lot of people who are new, who are just waking up. What can you suggest to them? Just the simplest things.
Don't believe everything that you see on YouTube. Don't be scared to try anything for yourself. Don't depend on anybody except for yourself. And Try and be as self-reliant as you possibly can, and
There you go.
that's an easy thing to do.
There you go. There you go. How do you manage stress?
Work.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
just
very
work.
lucky in that what I do, I enjoy. Uh, our family has been very blessed and very fortunate in that we are able to have the things that we have and do the things that we do. But to be very honest with you, I mean, I could be sitting on the back of a sailboat down in the Caribbean right now, drinking a Mai Tai, not giving a shit about the world or anybody else or what's going on.
Right.
And choose to sit out here on my farm and shovel chicken shit and dig in the dirt and, get cut and burnt and scraped and scarred and wore down and bruised and beat up and dirty.
Mm-hmm.
I know what's coming, and I know the best thing for my family is,
Yeah,
building something for them in the future.
exactly. Exactly. What's your EDC?
CZ 9 millimeter.
Yeah. Anything else? Any
Well,
karate hands?
no, no, I am way too old for all that, and to let anybody get even close.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. I'm really gonna run or shoot your ass. One of the
Yeah,
two.
you're probably gonna get shot. I'm too old to run too.
All right, this is a serious one right here. What's your prediction for 2024?
It's an easy one. Things are going to get a lot worse. The
Yeah.
war is, it's going to get a lot worse. I probably wouldn't expect a draft this year, but I do think they're probably going to bring a draft on. Immigration is only going to get worse. Inflation is only going to get worse. Materials are going to get harder to get. As soon as something pops off with China or they get twisted, they are going to cut the West and NATO off of supplies. And if y'all
Yeah.
thought the supply chains were horrid before, they are only going to get much worse.
Yeah. I see. I get reports from people that I talk to on the phone personally, and they're on the East Coast and they're having problems, and they've been having problems for the last 6 months. She's like, well, what's it look like down there? I said, all our shelves are stocked. I said,
Right?
now granted that they've widened the aisles and lowered the shelving and made
Right?
them a tad bit,
Yeah.
wider. And so I know that they're not putting as much out as they used to. She said they can't hardly find some of the stuff.
Yeah.
She paid like $37 for like 5 pounds of hamburger meat. I was like, what
Right.
the fuck are you talking about?
Right. Yeah. Well,
You know?
the whole Middle East thing is going to drive up the price of fuel, and it's not just the food in the stores that is going to be hard to find. It's going to be everything. It's going to be
Mm-hmm.
the air filter for your truck. It's going to be the oil filter for your tractor. It's going to be the nut and the bolt that you need to fix whatever. It's going to be the electronic part that you need to fix your car. It's
Yeah.
going to be everything, not just food.
Yeah. And yeah, I was telling her, I said I can't understand why y'all are having that problem. Well, I can because you're in a blue state, first of all, and y'all are highly controlled and censored up there. I said,
Population, you got a lot
yeah,
of people.
and she's right out. She's in Pennsylvania,
Hmm.
and not too far from some of the metropolitan areas. And I said they're
Yep.
going to ship to those big places first. Y'all gonna
Yep.
get what's left over.
Yep.
And she's been doing her best and doing her best, but she's like, damn, it's getting freaking crazy. Her water filters that she gets. She used to get them for like $5 or $6. Now she's paying close to $30 for these water
Oh yeah.
filters.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, and
And you
I'm
got
just
no
like, oh,
choice. You got to
yeah,
pay it. I mean, if you want it, you're going to have to pay it.
yeah. Well, here's a serious one. I have a good idea which way this would go for the person on the other end, but what would you be willing to do to survive and shit hitting the fan? If you lost your preps, your pew pews are gone. Would you marauder?
Of course.
Right on. Okay. See, somebody's actually being honest.
Yeah.
You know,
Now, don't take that right off into left field and think that I'm just
Well,
going to run here to my neighbor's house and steal from
right,
them. Uh,
right.
if I'm
Now
going
we're
to
talking about
maraud
everywhere.
somebody and risk my life and take the time to do that, I'm going to look for and take advantage of the people which have done this to me,
Right.
i.e., the state or the government or those associated affiliates.
I understand that. I understand that. And a lot of people, they're like, no, I couldn't do that. And they take it as a whole,
Yeah, you
they just
will.
go totally right there to where you
Yeah,
just go out and take somebody's stuff just for the hell of it, but no,
yeah,
no, it's got to have some type of rhyme and reason to it, in the first place. We're not rioters, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing
yes,
like that.
yes. You
Yeah.
still want to be civil and social society, but I can guarantee you. And from the experience of my background, I was 15 years a catastrophic insurance adjuster.
Mm-hmm.
Traveled around, and that's all I did was work on disaster sites. And I can tell you without any doubt, any shadow of a doubt in my mind, when people get hungry and desperate and thirsty, they turn into animals.
Yes, they do.
I have seen it happen at the back of the Red Cross truck. When that Red Cross truck comes out there to hand out meals, they only got so many meals on that truck. It is not
Yep.
an endless supply. And when they hand out the last meal and there's still a line of people back there, you can see people get violent real quick. I saw a
Oh,
guy
they,
take a 357 Magnum to the chest over a bag of ice in Louisiana.
yeah.
We
And
will
and
get
that's
very animalistic.
Yeah, and that's desperation. That's I don't know which way is fucking up, and I'm just gotta that momentarily instantaneous. I gotta survive right now, even if it's about fucking ice
Yes,
that's gonna melt before I get down the freaking street.
yes.
You know, yeah, that's some
Yeah,
crazy stuff
people
to
are
me.
going to turn animalistic, and unfortunately, you are probably most people are going to have to turn that way to survive.
Yeah, and that's a hard truth.
Yes,
A lot of people say I can never do that. Well, you never been in that situation, so how can you say what you can never do?
I can I
You
can
know,
stand up right now and raise my hand up and tell you right now, I know I'm going to do a lot of things that I would not normally do, and that I don't want to do, but I'm damn
right?
to do them.
That's exactly right. Okay, what's the hardest part of homesteading?
Hmm. There is a lot of death on an operating homestead.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you get up every day and you got dead chickens or you got dead piglets or you got a dead goat or, blah, 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 you better be able to deal with death on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
And the insurmountable amount of overwhelming odds. You put in a garden and you put in all this time and this effort, and you're 2 months into it and everything's growing good, and a hailstorm comes along and wipes it all out.
Oh
You have
yeah.
to have that ability to be able to let a loss go, like water off a duck's back, and say, well, tomorrow is a new day, and we still got a garden, so let's get it going again.
Right.
Being able to pick yourself back up and get back on the horse and not let yesterday bother you at all. You got to move forward.
Oh yeah, and I know a lot of people that something detrimental like that or catastrophic happen, they just shut down. They
Yeah,
just throw their hands up and they just want to. I'm a victim now. Come save me. And I don't understand that shit, but I'm not gonna save you. Neither's the government, fuckers. You know what I'm saying?
no one's gonna come
I
save you. I
call
can
Jesus, he'll
guarantee it.
save you. Yes, Jesus will save you, not me. You
Yep,
know,
yep.
just saying, just saying. Uh, let's see. Were you raised, let's say, gardening and like homesteading and hunting and all that? Were you raised that way, or were you raised a different way?
No, I would call my raising very traditional. We lived out in the country. Uh, we had different animals and things growing up. We hunted. It wasn't necessarily for food, but I did all of that. We farmed. thousands of acres. All of it was cotton, but Grandma always had the garden, and she always can. But I think, let me see, I might be able to show you a quick picture here. I was going through some old pictures the other day.
Right
These
on.
are the kind of animals that we had on the farm. I don't know if you can
Oh,
see
how
that.
cool is that? Zebras? Are
Yeah,
those zebras?
yeah, zebras.
Hell yeah.
And this was it's not a very good picture, but that was me when I was probably about 12 years old, and that's a mountain lion that we had as a pet.
Damn. Damn.
I don't know if you
That
can
is
see
too
him on there,
wild.
but
Wow.
yeah, I was going through some old pictures, and there's that cat.
See, where'd y'all get that cat at? Was it because
There's
you're from
actually
the
a
western part, ain't you? Ain't you from the
well, there's
western part
actually
of
a
town?
place here, and they have them all over now. But there's a place here in
Yeah.
Texas that does exotic game auctions, and
Yeah.
you can pretty much go down there and buy anything you want.
Wow.
Those pictures were 35 years ago, but
Yeah.
still even today, I think Texas is actually known for being one of the states that has the most private large cat ownerships in the United States. There's a
Yeah.
lot of tigers, personally owned tigers here in the state. But
Yeah.
you can buy
People
anything
don't think.
you want.
Well, see, people don't think about that either. All those exotic animals, they're gonna be set free. They're gonna be let loose. They're gonna get out, and guess what? You got predators out there now that you better hope you got something to take them down with.
Well, that was part of the whole problem down in South Texas. All them big game ranches down there. They bought all them expensive exotic deer. They got out
Yeah,
there and got
them
loose.
axes. Yeah,
Yeah.
them axes, man. Them axes. I tell you what. The first time I seen one of them, I thought I was in like Alice in Wonderland. And the first time I heard one, I was like, "Who dropped a baby off out here in the damn woods?" You
Right.
know, and those things are huge.
They are delicious.
Are they? See,
Yeah.
I ain't never had one.
Well, my brother-in-law here in East Texas, they raised them for about 10 years. They had the big 8 foot tall high fence,
Yeah.
and they got an ag exemption to raise them here. And every
Oh,
year he
that's
would
sweet.
cull out 5 or 6 out of their herd, so we'd get some meat off of them. But yeah,
Yeah,
they're very delicious deer.
yeah, and they would, don't they? They have like two sets of twins every year, don't they? Something like
They
that.
can, yeah, they
Yeah.
can. They're like goats. They multiply like
Oh,
rabbits.
fuck yeah. Yeah, because down there where I'm originally from, not up here in the desert, man, they're all over the place down there, and
Yep.
it's pretty much open
Yeah.
season on them and hogs.
We had the river house down there on the Frio River, and there were always some kind of weird deer or something coming through there that escaped out of them exotic ranches. Them people pay big money to go down there and hunt.
See, I don't know what I'd do if I come across a damn tiger or a mountain lion. I'd probably shit my pants.
You better have your everyday carry on you.
I'll be like, fuck, that wasn't planned,
Uh
you
huh.
know?
Uh huh.
Yeah. Damn. Okay, well, there's a lot of people in here that I know that want to raise chickens, and I'm gonna start simple with chickens. Uh, what can you tell somebody? Because I remember earlier that somebody was in your live talking about can you raise chickens in an apartment?
Right.
It seemed like a good idea at the time, but after about 2 hours, I think they probably changed their mind. Uh,
Yep. Yep.
you know, but what are some little helpful hints? Now I know that you said on quail and stuff, but for
Right.
chickens, it's easier.
Yeah, well, if you have the property to raise chickens, obviously chickens are going to give you a lot more bang for the buck. But if you're starting out with chickens, what I'd tell you is to get a dual purpose bird. I mean, you want a chicken that lays good eggs, and you want a chicken that you could also eat. Because generally, chickens are broken down into two categories. You either get a good layer or you get a good meat bird. Generally, good meat birds don't lay a lot of eggs, and usually egg layers don't got a lot of meat on them. So,
Right.
you can try and buy a dual purpose bird. That way, you can use it for either thing.
Yeah. What would somebody look for like that? I mean, is there a certain type of breed
Uh,
that's
the
the best
breed
for
that
that?
we There are a certain few breeds out there that are kind of known for weight and eggs. We have particularly chosen the Breesy or the Bress breed, and they are very good layers, and they're also a good sized meat chicken. So I'm
That
actually going to send about 20 of them to freezer camp here in a couple of weeks.
yeah, yeah. That's good information for people because a lot of people they'll just go buy chicken and they think, well, the next thing is well, it's going to start laying eggs.
All
Well,
right.
but I want more baby chickens, but they don't own a rooster,
Uh,
and
yeah.
well, how do I get them to lay, and just all kinds of stuff, and it's not that easy. It's really not.
Well, there's not
Uh,
too many gay chickens out there, and there ain't too many trans out there. So you got to go traditional and get the boy and the girl chicken, to have little chickens.
Hell yeah.
But it's hard to find chickens now that will sit on their own eggs and hatch them. Most chickens that
Hmm.
you buy have been hatched industrially or commercially, and they've
Hmm.
lost that trait to want to raise their own chicks. So if you're planning on hatching them, I would definitely invest in some incubators and collect those eggs. And they'll still do the thing they need to do with the rooster, but it's going to be up to you to hatch them most of the time.
Yeah, yeah. Damn, yeah, because there's a lot to it, and it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a couple weeks sometimes,
It is
and
a full year long process to be able to hatch and raise and eat that chicken at the end of the year to make your chicken sandwich.
that's
And
right. And then
if
you
you're
got to learn how to
doing it,
process it.
yeah, I mean, year after year after year, you got to have a lot of chickens. And then
Yeah.
you got to account for disease loss and predator loss and just natural death loss. And, the chicken's only going to lay for 2 or 3 years. And, it's a continual process.
Oh yeah, yeah. And whenever I started really listening to people on how they take care of their chickens and raise them, and you know, um, wring their necks and all that kind of stuff, I was like, damn, that's a full time job right there in itself. And you
Yes.
got like what 50 different types of animals on your plates,
Well, yeah, it becomes a full time job. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
chickens, the pigs, the goats, the emus, the quails, the rabbits, the turkeys, and then the garden on top of that. And
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It's worth it though. I know it's worth it. You
it,
wouldn't be doing it. I know that
yeah, it is.
100%.
It's a lifestyle that you want to have to choose to live because, to be honest with you, there ain't many people that go to school or college to become a homesteader or a farmer. And,
Exactly.
it just doesn't pay anymore. That's why you see a chicken farm and they raise 200,000 chickens. You see a turkey farm, they raise 200,000 turkeys. You see a tomato farm, they raise 200 acres of tomatoes. Nobody does a little bit of everything anymore. It's all
Right.
very specific.
And that's what a homestead is about. You do a little bit of everything and you got to pretty much be an expert in that little bit of everything. It's not like being a jack of all trade, a master of none. You got to master all that shit.
Well, the one prepper challenge that I put out myself a long time ago when I first made my YouTube channel was if you're a real homestead prepper, let me see you make a chicken sandwich. And that means
Hmm.
you hatch that chicken, you raise that chicken, you slaughter that chicken. You plant that wheat, you grind that wheat, you make flour, you bake your bread. You grow your lettuce, you grow your tomato, you grow your pig for your bacon. You make your own sandwich, and then I'll tell you you're prepared.
Right on. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. And that's one of those hard truths. Don't half ass it.
Yeah.
It's got to be
There's a
straight up.
big difference in doing it, thinking you can do it, actually doing it, playing like you do it on YouTube. There's big
Exactly.
differences in all of those.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get you on is because what you say and what you do is very important. It's real life. You're not fucking around. You're not bullshitting nobody. You walk the fucking talk.
Well, I
You
didn't
know.
put up my YouTube channel to get clicks and views, and I don't suppose it's ever going to make any money. I mean, again, it's something that I'm a very private person. I don't
Yes, you
really
are.
like putting myself out there on YouTube, but being able to help some people and explain what I think is coming and show them what I do to try and help them through that process is worth it to me.
Hell yeah.
Whether or not they take the time or the effort to listen or to try, you can't force nobody to do nothing. I
No,
mean,
no, you
that
certainly
old
can't.
saying, you're going to lead that horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Even if you feed him too much damn salt and kill him, you still can't make him drink.
That's exactly right. If you had one thing that you could change, what would it be?
One thing that I could change. Hmm. I would have started 20 years prior.
Yeah, same here. Same here. I would have planned a little bit differently instead of burning my candle at both fucking ends.
Yeah. Yeah.
I certainly would have. What's the best job you ever had?
Self employment.
Yeah, isn't it wonderful?
It's the only way that anybody can really make it.
Yeah, I love
The,
it.
the
I
fact
love
that
it.
you go and work for somebody else for, I don't care how much it is you're making. If they're paying you $50 an hour, they're obviously making more than $50 an hour because that's what they're paying you. So you're worth more than
Hmm.
50. So whatever
Yep,
it is you're doing, just go do it for yourself and make all the money.
that's exactly right. And a lot of people don't understand that.
Mhm.
I don't like being a slave to somebody else. Now I know there's level of slavery.
Yep.
I understand that, but when
Even being
you put in
self-employed,
a
you
hard
got a
day's
boss.
work,
Yeah.
yeah, when you put in a hard day's work for yourself, it matters. It
Yeah.
really matters.
Even being
Yeah.
self-employed, I mean, your customer is your boss, and if you ain't doing it right or making them happy, you ain't gonna be in business very long. So,
Well, that is true, and that is I've caused a lot of shit by pulling the customer card. You know, just saying. Okay, if you had to tell your 20-year-old self something, what would it be?
uh, save more.
Save more cash.
Save more. As young people, we all pissed off, as in threw out the window or whatever the hell you want to call it, the
Hmm.
biggest part of our young lives. And I think if a lot of us knew now or knew then what we knew now, it ain't that we would change anything, but what could you do? I'd save
Right,
more. I mean, if I'd have just
right.
saved everything that I pissed off, I'd be in a lot better shape today.
Hell yeah. I tell you what, I think about that stuff. I was like, man, I can't believe I spent money on that shit.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah,
believe it. It's ridiculous.
yeah.
What's your thoughts on voting?
If voting mattered, they wouldn't allow us to do it. I don't vote. I haven't voted. I don't believe in it. Left or right, they're two wings of the same bird. They're taking us down the same damn road. It doesn't matter which side that you pick.
Yeah.
It used to actually long, long, long ago when this was all founded. It mattered and it made a
Hmm.
difference. But today in our world and our society, as advanced as we are, I feel probably the elections that they held over in Iraq, where they dipped their finger down in the inkwell, is
Yeah.
probably much more legitimate uh, election than what we have here.
I agree with you. No, I still vote. I
Sure,
go vote just to
I
say,
saw you.
fuck it. I'll do it.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
yeah. It's
Uh,
everybody's
just
right
because
to
I
do
can
that.
do it still. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's everybody's. That's the American right to be able to do that. But
yeah, I mean, it's one of the few things that, like I said, they still allow you, like you
yeah,
said, that
yeah.
they allow you to
Sure.
do.
Yeah, they give us the impression that it makes a difference, and for me, I just choose not to play their game
You're
because
right.
if you're voting, to me, it's two evils. It doesn't matter
Right.
which side you're voting for; they're both evil. So you're going to vote for the lesser of the two evils.
Right.
Okay. Well, for me, I just choose not to play in that evil game because I don't think my vote is going to matter anyway, especially
Yeah.
with the 20 million fucking migrants pouring across our border down there that they're going to get votes from.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I
I
wonder
just
how that's
choose
going to pop off.
not to play in their system. I don't want to be involved.
Yeah, how do you think that's going to pop off? You think anybody going to stand up on that, or they just still
No,
going to take it up the ass?
no, they're going to take it.
Yeah,
I fully believe and feel that Abbott is part of the WEF. I
yeah,
mean, all you got to do is Google Governor Abbott, and it pulls it right up on his page, and he proudly, stands with the WEF, and all of that kind of bullshit. I mean, when all that was going on down there on the fucking border, he was over in India. That
yeah,
first weekend that it all went down with the government and the DPS, and everybody was down there at odds. He was in India that weekend.
yeah. And he
You
just
know,
come back from like France or somewhere like that.
yeah.
He's been
And
making the
part of
rounds.
that whole WEF agenda is to spread the migrants around. Free immigration, open borders. Right? It's the same thing they did in Europe a couple of years ago, overloading them with Muslims. They're doing
Yeah,
it here now to us. And Abbott is just a puppet in the WEF because everybody down here in Texas, when he was bussing these people off and sending them off on the airplanes, we were down here,
yeah,
send them off, bus them off.
yeah,
What does the WEF want? They want those migrants dispersed all over the country. So this fucker is sitting there doing the work of the WEF on our taxpayer dollar, sending these fuckers all over the freaking country.
yeah. And it all plays in, and it all adds up to their agenda,
Yeah.
and the World Economic
Yes.
Forum and
Yeah.
the Great Reset and
Yes.
all that. It all
Yes.
goes together. Now,
Yes.
it just kills me to think that one of our Texas boys has gone and betrayed us.
Oh yeah.
It kills me.
Go down there to Austin and go into the state house, and there's going to be a couple of hundred of them son of a bitches in there, and they all betray us. All
Mm-hmm.
of them.
Yeah, and
I
it makes
firmly
me sick.
believe if they're involved in the government in any form or fashion, they're involved in it.
Yeah.
You're a player to the fucking party. You're involved in it.
Let me ask you this. We're going to go off these questions for a second. There's a bunch of hoopla and hype about the solar shit fixing to happen in April. Now, I've got
Hmm.
my own views on that. I don't, but there's a dichotomy about it. I personally feel, thank you for Teresa for hiding water. They must have been a fucking idiot or something. But anyway, uh, they're already having to block people. That's cool. Whatever. Block them. If they're stupid, block them. Anyway, I've been thinking about this and looking at this. I think it's a massive exercise in deployment and control of the flow of traffic and all this kind of stuff, because there's too many states that are all jumping on board on this. Don't go to school, don't do this, don't do that, and it's just a fucking solar eclipse.
Yeah. As far as the eclipse itself is concerned, I don't think it's going to do anything. I mean, we'll have the
Right,
eclipse. It's going to be a normal eclipse. The shit's been going on for millions of years. So the
right,
eclipse itself isn't going to do anything.
right,
Now, all of these dumbasses, government or state or fucking crazy left people or it's space Martians or whoever the fuck they want to identify as, there is no telling what these people may try and pull off. And I've heard everything from, Jade Helm 2.0. They're going to try some biological attack. As you said, they're going to disperse the military across the United States. My problem that I have with most of that is we are a very, very large country. And even, our full military at full capacity is only about 3 million people. I mean,
mm-hmm.
if you add in all the law enforcement, the FBI, all the agencies, you put in the military, you've only got about 4 or 5 million people. And we know the US is about 330, 340, maybe 350 million.
Right,
I don't think 5 million are going to control 350 million.
right. Do you think they're
They
going to
don't
try
have
and
enough,
control on that path? Because to me, it looks like a path of focus.
right?
You know,
Well, that path that they're showing is actually the path of totality. If
Right,
you're in that path, you're going to see complete darkness. The closer you are to the center of that path, you're going to get about 4 minutes of darkness. And then the moon is going to start to pass and you'll get light again. So that little path that they're showing is just the path of totality. If you're
right.
outside of that path, you're still going to see the eclipse, but it won't be a full cover. And about 3/4 of the US is going to be seeing some form of the eclipse.
Yeah.
They
Do
just
you
won't get the totality.
do you think in that path with them trying to narrow it down to just the states that it's going through that 5 million military or even their National Guard, whatever the hell they're sitting out there, do you think that in those little hot spots, I'm going to call them hot spots, like how Dallas Fort Worth is starting to act stupid now,
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff all up through there. Do you think that they'd be able to handle that little area?
No, they won't be able to handle it still because out of that 5 million, I mean, that's the total amount of law enforcement and military we got in the country. And they're not going to be able to leave all of the other areas just to be in this path. So, and half of our freaking military is overseas right now anyway. So,
Yeah,
really, there's probably only a couple of million here, for them to actually disperse out.
right,
And even
right.
in that general area, a couple of million ain't gonna be able to do it. But what
Yeah,
what would be the point of just dispersing them to that area? I can already tell you, they're gonna have National Guard in DFW. They'll
yeah,
probably have them in Amarillo and Lubbock and Houston and San Angelo and El Paso. All of those major cities that are probably over 100, 150,000, they're going to get National Guard deployed to them. I mean,
yeah,
they are going to put boots on the streets here in the U.S. And they're wanting the U.S. to start something because the moment that our police and our National Guard here can't control the American population, that's when they get to call in the UN.
yeah,
The deals have already been made, the papers have been signed, the agreements, all of that stuff has already been worked out and signed into law. That when things get crazy here, they can pull the UN in. That's
yeah.
not a hearsay conspiracy theory bullshit story. Ask our Canadian friends up there if they saw the UN up there. There were planes landing in. That's exactly
Mhm.
who they intend on bringing in to police us. Because,
Yeah,
a lot of people think that the police and law enforcement and things here are bad and corrupt and, blah, blah, blah. The police and the law enforcement in this country are going to be a bunch of pussies compared to them fuckers that they're bringing over from Kenya.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Trust
They're
me.
not playing.
Them guys
I
in
think.
Kenya don't give two shits about your rights or your constitution, or they don't give a fuck.
Mm-mm. No, no, they don't. I think another part of it too is getting the American people used to seeing troops in the street,
Yes.
used to seeing the uniform
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
friendly, entity when in all actuality they will lay your ass fucking down.
Yeah. Well,
You
that's
know?
the democracy that they keep trying to push onto you. Everybody says democracy, democracy, democracy. Democracy is 51% controlling the other 49%.
That's true.
And we already know that 51% of these motherfuckers are going to go along with the program. So all
Yep.
they got to do is thin down the other 49%.
Yeah.
And to prove that they're going to go along with the program, they done deployed the National Guard right up there in New York in the subway. And what's everybody doing? Walking up to the table, opening up your bags, giving your search, here, yeah, here, let me, the
Yep.
Constitution's null and void. Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Let me lick your boot, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're right. Right. And you don't lick them right, you're gonna wish you had.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
the guy that's over there in the corner, raping the girl, they're gonna send him to jail with a no bail and let him out so he can run down to fucking New Mexico and cross back over the border.
Right, right. People talk about without rule of law. and
We're there.
really, we're there. Yeah, we've
We're
been there
there.
for a minute. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's just getting
whether or not you want to realize it and act accordingly, that's totally up to you. Y'all can be dumbasses and not realize it and not walk around armed and not carry an AR-15 in your truck. And you ain't got to do all of those things. But you
that's right.
are living in it. You are.
Yeah, and you can comply. People comply with it
Yeah.
every fucking day.
Yeah.
Uh, every day they comply with it. Let me ask you this: if you could go back in time to any era, where would it be? What would it be?
Am I going to be punished for the crimes I commit when I go back?
No, 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 no. You could go back and buy stock in Apple or Coca Cola or
No. I'd rather go back or somewhere probably around, I don't know, 1860s, 1870s, and take out all of these globalist bastards that are doing this to us today.
to stop them from even being born. I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah.
I understand that. That's a you know what? That's excellent. That's excellent. What's your best childhood memory?
Vacation, mom and dad, brothers and
Yeah.
sisters. Yeah,
Where'd y'all go?
California.
Yeah. Did y'all go to
Yeah.
Disneyland?
I went to Universal Studios out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, great time. It was back when California was a nice place to go, and still,
After
I guess
Reagan,
what you would.
before Reagan?
That would have been after.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, right around, right after. Yeah.
Wow. What would you do differently if you had a chance? I think I've already asked you this, but sometimes I ask this question again because hindsight sometimes will give you a different answer. What would you do differently
Uh,
besides save more?
yeah, probably really not a lot. I mean, I
Yeah.
can't complain about where I am today and the things that I have and the people around me and the things I've obtained.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to lose any of that trying to change something, but uh, and just it doesn't make any sense to want to change it.
Right. Right. I've thought about that a lot myself. If I could change one thing, what would it be? And I'm thinking, man, there's really not too much because if I change one thing, if you believe in that
Yeah,
butterfly effect stuff,
yeah,
everything would be different,
yeah. That's
And I was
yeah,
like, a lot of times it wasn't the best. It was
yeah,
bad, but you know what? It made me the person that I am today.
yeah,
And I got to look at it as it was a real learning experience. So why would I?
yeah.
But if I had to go change anything, it would probably be the time that I was born. I would have liked to have been born and lived in the early 1800s. Back
Right,
way back in before all this confusion. But there was even confusion back then. You
right.
didn't live past like
It
27.
it probably wouldn't be something that I would want for me, but if I had the ability, I would like for my parents to be able to have met my kids.
See,
Of
that's
course,
nice.
they died before I had my kids, so
Yeah.
uh, yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's
wouldn't be
nice.
for me, but I'd like for grandma and grandpa to see the twins today.
Well, I've got a question for you now. I don't. No, I might just be making an assumption, and I don't like to do that. But have you ever been homeless?
Uh, yes.
How did you handle that?
I thought it was a very freeing experience, actually,
Yeah,
and enlightening.
yeah, it
It
can
gave
be.
me the opportunity more than anything to learn about off grid and self reliance.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. A lot of times people look at homeless people, but they are survivors. You got
They
to
are
be able
some,
to survive to be out there, whether it's by panhandling, scavenging, hustling, whatever it is. To a certain extent, you're definitely a survivor.
there's some tough
On
people.
that. What have you learned from travel in different cultures?
Uh, we have it very good here in the United States. And
Yeah,
even just traveling around within the United States, there are so many parts that have it better than other parts. I mean, I have been fortunate enough to travel in probably 45, 47 of the states.
Hmm.
So I've seen a lot of them.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of beautiful places all around this country. But there are also a lot of places that are just, you wouldn't believe that you are still within the United States.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
I've been to a
crazy.
lot of places that I'm just like, you've got to be freaking kidding me.
Yeah. It's
You know, I can't understand it. Well, okay. Now this is, I know you're a pew pew man, but can you plus bow, a pew pew, a slingshot?
you cut out on me, so say that again.
I said, what? Can you tell me the plus and minuses of a bow, a pew pew, and a slingshot?
Well, obviously, a bow can be handmade and it's very quiet. It requires no mechanical operation, no accessories, add ons, any of that kind of stuff. It can be made with your bare hands.
Mm-hmm.
A pew pew is going to give you a much further reach, a much faster action, and a more deadly consequence.
Right.
And slingshots, it's not impossible to make your own, but you do depend on a little mechanical advantage via a rubber band, most of them.
Yeah.
And for me, they're way too close of range.
Yeah, I found that. I found that my range on a slingshot is about 30 foot,
Yep.
with a powerful bite.
Right.
Anything after that, and even then that's a little bit too close for comfort,
Right.
because a couple of good steps they're right there in your face.
Yeah. If
But if you can hit that eyeball, you got them.
if you're operating in daily life, like today, it's fun to play with a bow and arrow and a slingshot. But in a shit hits the fan situation, the pew pew is going to overwhelm any by far.
Exactly.
Simply because of that reach and the repetitiveness of it and the quickness and the deadly amount of accuracy that you can obtain.
Yeah, yeah, and it is real fast too. Like you said, it's just like instantaneous,
Yeah.
especially if you're a good shot. Uh,
Yes.
best mistake you ever made?
Best mistake I ever made. Uh, actually happened pretty early in life, and
Yeah.
it came from my dad.
Huh.
When I got basically my eviction papers served to get
Yeah.
the fuck out of the house because I was 18 and out of school now, uh, he made me a little deal to haul a mobile home down to some of his property. And
Uh-huh.
going to pay me $500. Well, I thought that was a good deal. So I loaded up the truck and hooked onto the trailer and hauled it down there. Got it all back in and set up. And I said, "Well, where's my 500? I'm ready to go home." And he handed me my 500. And I thought, well, you going to give me any money for gas? I did have the fuel expense to come down here. And he said, "You didn't negotiate that, son. Have a good
Right.
trip home." He taught me about negotiate everything up front and cover all your bases.
That's right. That's right. And that's a good lesson to learn from a mistake. I tell you
Yeah,
what,
I
those
earned 500.
negotiations
It
are
probably
important.
cost me 300 in fuel to get there and back. So it was not a good trip.
Yeah, that's a hard truth right there, wasn't it?
Uh,
But it did you good. It did you
yeah.
good. What
Oh
what's
yeah.
the best dish that you cook? Do you cook barbecue better, meatloaf? What's the best dish that you can cook?
I like to cook outside on the grill, and I'll prefer anything bacon wrapped, whether it's
Okay.
jalapenos or quail or even steak bacon wrapped. I prefer to wrap stuff in bacon, but
Isn't that
yeah,
weird
I
how
can.
bacon makes everything taste?
Oh yeah, it's wonderful. I love it. It's its own food group, but
Yeah.
I love to get out here and harvest something on the farm and grill it.
Yeah, hell yeah. I love cooking on a fire, man. I tell you
Hmm.
what, a campfire, I love cooking on a campfire. I make anything on campfire, biscuits, gravy, soup, stew, cakes, what I
Right.
can't do a pie,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know. But Man, just something about a fire. I'm not sure if you read a lot. I'm sure you're a well-read individual, but one book that best describes your life.
Hmm. Wow, one book that best describes my life. Well, I don't read a lot. I prefer audiobooks because reading takes too damn much time and I ain't got time. But let's see here. Offhand, hell, I don't know. Probably, shit, I don't know.
Wow.
I've got so much.
Like you'd probably be like equated to like the Encyclopedia Britannicas,
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe some kind of encyclopedia because again, I was so lucky that my dad was into so much different stuff. I mean, building old cars and being self-employed and having businesses, and even out there in West Texas where you live now. I mean, my dad was crazy enough to put a boat marina in Stanton, Texas.
Oh, sheesh.
Yeah, and most people would think, he's crazy for doing that.
Yeah.
An actual boat marina in Stanton, Texas. There ain't a lake for 300 miles.
No,
But
no.
every cotton farmer out there has an old boat sitting behind their house. And when they want to go on vacation, they're 1 week out of the year, they want to go to the lake.
Uh-huh.
So they take their boat down there to my dad's marina and have it serviced and put a new battery on it and get it running, fresh gas, all that kind of shit, so they can go to the lake. They're 1 week out of the year. And you
See,
bet
that's
your ass you drive around out in West Texas, and every one of them old farmers has got an old boat behind their house.
oh hell yeah, they do. Yeah, they do, because there ain't much around Stanton.
Nope.
Not much at all.
Nope.
Um, there ain't no water. I think the closest water is what, Robert Lee or San Angelo.
Down by San Angelo. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, that's my old stomping ground.
Hmm.
Yep. Okay, tell me what your outlook is on this. Is the cup half full or half empty?
Well, at this point, the cup is half empty.
Yeah. Why you
Yeah.
say that?
Because everything that we do today is fucked up.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, the world is really fucked up. So it might as
yeah,
well
oh
be
yeah,
half empty on the way to pouring out.
yeah, yeah. I can understand that.
When I was
What's your
growing
Bible?
up, younger as a kid, it was half
Yeah,
full because it was, we were filling it with
yeah.
knowledge and information and a positive outlook and all this good, life was good. And
Mm-hmm.
then fast forward 35 years later to 2024, and you wonder what the fuck is going on in the world
Yeah.
and why. I mean, what is the point to any of it? How long have we been here as people and we still can't get along on this one little fucking rock that we got in all of the vastness of our universe? This is all we got.
Yeah, right.
And we still can't get along as people. We got to fight, kill each other because my God is better than your God. Or because that land you're standing on over there is more holy than my land. Or I need a bigger yacht. I need more power. I need more control. I need money and gold, and just the way that we are going as a species is not good.
Yeah, I think that we're on our last leg. It's just a matter of time before we just wipe the slate clean and start
Yeah,
all over again.
that's what Mother Nature is going to do. It's going to wipe the slate clean.
Oh yeah, and I myself, I don't know if I would ever make it, but I hope that my legacy, like how you're approaching the whole situation, is that your legacy, your girls
Sure.
will, and that's the best that I can hope for.
Yeah, as
On that.
parents, as parents and adults that have children, that is your greatest it's your greatest accomplishment. I mean, in all
Right,
reality, that's what you were put here to do. You were put here to
right.
procreate and spread the species and your knowledge and teach and advise your children on how to become good, moral, successful people. That's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And I will spend my last dying breath trying to make sure that my kids have the ability to do that.
Oh yeah, you're a good man. You're a good father and a good husband, and I respect you, and I respect Dan, and them girls are blessed, and y'all are just great people. I think y'all are just great people.
Well, thank you. I try to help, and there's plenty of people here on YouTube that that we do help, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, personally, if anybody willing to meet and talk and get to know me knows that I will open my house up to you. I'm
Yeah,
not, I definitely want to try and help. And
that's right. That's right. I love that. Tell me one song that inspired you.
one song that inspired me.
One song that inspired you. It could inspire you to get up and get shit done. It could inspire you to make another day. I mean, it could inspire you to whatever, but one song that sticks in your mind.
Well, actually, just here recently, it's become quite popular on YouTube.
Really?
You ever heard of "Hoist the Colors"?
I don't think that I have.
It's an old sailor song
Uh-huh.
talking about hoisting the colors and everybody coming together, and
Yeah.
it's getting time to hoist the colors. So
Yep. Yep.
look that up whenever you get off of this live here and listen to it.
I most definitely will. I most definitely will.
It's
Y'all in
it's
the chat,
only
y'all
about a
do the
4 minute
same thing.
song, and it's really old,
Yeah.
but it should definitely inspire you, especially with what's going on today.
See, I love that. I love that inspiration and opening up my eyes and checking my mindset. That's very important to me. Let's see. What's something new to you? What are you doing new that you haven't done before?
Well, I'm always trying to grow something new.
Yeah.
We grow oranges and mangoes and grapefruits and all kinds of stuff out here on the farm. Uh, I'm always trying something new, making liquor, a different kind of animal, a different kind of medicinal plant. Any way to make money,
Yeah.
scavenge something, build something, everything. I mean,
Busy.
I look for something new every day to keep my mind going.
Yeah. Yeah. And you gotta keep that mind sharp and you
Yeah,
gotta constantly train it. It's gotta be you gotta be able to be learned and taught
I like
to move
it.
forward.
I like it because I'm the kind of person that needs 50 things going on.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
the
I gotta
homestead,
do
the garden, the chickens, the ranch, the RV park, the cabin, the house in Houston, the selling the land. I mean, I've always
yeah.
got 50 different things going on.
Yeah, that's what I was telling my friend. I said he works 20 hours. He works 20 hours a day. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a busy man. Let me ask you this: if you were president, what's your position on the corruption of the mind?
The corruption of the
Mind.
mind.
Uh huh.
Uh, it's definitely corruptible,
Mhm.
and most of the people in what we call in charge today are corrupted. I believe. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
What could
Would
I
it?
do about it as president?
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
fire
What would you
all
do
of
about
their
it?
asses. I'd
Right
fire
on.
all of their asses day number one.
Well, let me lead you. It goes to the next question. Do you believe in the death penalty?
Oh yes, 100%.
Dude, me too.
And I'll be
Uh,
the first one to stand up and say what everybody want on YouTube. You're going to hear it right now.
okay.
Everybody wants to stand up and do something about that government, but they're scared to do it because
That's
they
right.
know the fucking government will come and kill them for standing up.
Mm-hmm.
Our Constitution gave us the right
That's
to
right.
defend ourselves against a tyrannical government. So, how can you make a constitutionally protected activity, which is overseeing our own government from tyranny,
Mm-hmm.
how can you make that a crime?
Right.
And yet they have made it a crime. And they give you plenty of examples. If you don't think they won't come kill you, look at the people in Waco.
Right.
Look at the people on Ruby Ridge.
Exactly.
Look at Lavoy Finical.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Look at the International Arkansas Airport manager that the ATF no knock warranted his house 3 days ago and shot him in the head.
Yeah.
I mean, this ain't some Joe Blow fucking crackhead on the street murdering people. This is the manager of a large international airport. And just because this guy buys some guns and sells them on the side that he doesn't know are used in a crime, he's got no control over it. The ATF
Right.
raids his house and shoots him in the head.
Right.
That's the government you're conforming to, that we all conform to and agree with. Now,
Yep.
everybody's expecting someone else to stand up and do something. They're going to kill you just like they'll kill me. We're nobody.
That's
They
right.
have the control over us to not allow us to group together as people. Perfect example, look at the guy that started the Facebook page on Area 51.
Mm-hmm.
First, it was a joke. A week later, he had 200,000 followers. A month later, there were 1 million people going to show up. How fast do you think the fucking FBI went and
Oh
knocked on
yeah.
his door and said, "Shut it down, buddy"?
That's right. And that's
You know?
exactly what he did. He shut
Yeah,
that shit down.
damn right. Because they're not going to allow us to gather. They know.
Mm-hmm.
They know what will happen if we do.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And that they try that separation of with religion, with race, with even some perverted sexual
Yeah,
bullshit,
it
you
goes.
know.
It goes more corrupt and evil and deeper than me and you will ever consider, because we are
Mm-hmm.
moral people and our brains don't think like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It just
We hear the horror stories, but do they really do that shit? They
right.
probably do. There's some sick fucks.
Yeah. Yeah. They are some sick fucks,
I mean, they are
there's truth to
totally
all of it.
prepared to come to your house, kick in your front door, and kill you.
Mm-hmm.
They're prepared to do it.
Oh yeah, and not think twice about it and just dust yourself off and go on to the next.
Yep.
You know, and it is scary for a lot of people, um, for that to happen because a
Yeah.
lot of times no one will ever even know about
No,
it because they'll make you disappear.
they're
You
gonna
know,
lock you in a cage with the force and threat of death. They're
yeah,
gonna stare down the end of a barrel of a gun. They're gonna put you in handcuffs and they're gonna lock you away in a cage. And nobody is gonna come save you or bail you out.
no, and they're not gonna know where you're at. No way.
No.
That's Guantanamo Bay stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you never wanted to go down there, but
Yeah.
yeah, I used to think underneath the post office was bad, but shit.
Yeah.
Uh,
Guantanamo Bay is the one that they're telling you about. They got
mm-hmm.
50 or 150 black ops sites that nobody knows about.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, you know about
Exactly.
Area 51 because they let you know about Area 51.
That's right.
The other Area 1 through 50, they never even
Right.
told you about.
Right. And a lot of people don't even realize that. They don't think that there's anything from 1 to 50. They just
Yeah.
know Area 51.
Yeah.
We don't know what's after 51. It could be
Yeah,
52 to
exactly.
100,
There is a
you know?
whole shit ton of stuff out there that we don't even know. They show you the tip of the iceberg, and there's
Yep.
this much iceberg left underneath.
That's right. That's exactly right. You got any suggestions on courage?
Courage. I think the first thing that you have to do is come to terms with yourself and not be afraid of death, because true courage will sometimes run right side by side with death.
Yeah.
Until you overcome your fear of dying, courage is going to be a hard thing to come by.
Yeah. For me, I'm not so much worrisome with myself. I worry, and I want to say, as far as courage goes, like with my loved ones. You know what I'm saying? That I wonder sometimes, can they face certain things? That would take courage, and how could they get there without having to really experience the options of, if I don't do this, I'm going to die. Does that make any sense to you? You
I
know?
think it probably becomes a more matter of fear than courage. If
Yeah.
you don't do this, you are going to die.
Yeah.
It doesn't take the leap of faith courage as much as it does, oh shit, if I don't move, you know.
Right. Right.
Courage is a very rare thing.
It is.
There are
It
not a
is.
lot of people that are going to run toward the gunfire, that are going to run toward the fire, that are
Mm-hmm.
run toward the accident, that are going to, you know, the oxygen acetylene bottle is on fire over there and somebody needs to go turn it off. Who's running toward the oxygen acetylene bottle that's fixing to blow up?
Right.
Well, if I don't run toward it, it's we're probably going to fucking blow up. So let me go ahead and go turn it off.
Right. Doing what you got to do,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
not,
you gotta,
thinking about it.
yeah. Thinking ain't gonna do you nothing. You gotta do it.
Right. What makes you smile?
My kids,
Yeah, I figured as much. I figured that's gonna be an easy one right there.
yeah,
You know. Yeah, you got some beautiful girls. I tell you what, they're just dolls, absolute dolls.
thank you.
Um, a lot of people you might come across as not being positive. I think you're very critical, which is a good thing because critical is important, because it causes you to question
Sure.
things and point out either positives or negatives. But how do you stay positive?
Well, again, I live in reality every day. I don't
Mm-hmm.
I don't wish things happen. I don't hope things happen. I don't expect things to happen. I live in the reality of today. And
Yeah.
a lot of people on YouTube want to call it doom and gloom and down and all this, but that is the fucking reality that you live in.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, in all honesty, that is the reality that we live in. It does suck that the veterans can't get help. It does suck that they're giving illegals guns. It does suck that there's homeless all over the world. It does suck that we're going to war in Ukraine. It does suck that our government is against us. But that's the fucking reality that we live in today. So
Right.
why not be positive, get up off your ass and do something about it? Because nobody's going to come do it for you.
That's exactly fucking right. You know, I find myself, with all the pieces put together, the shit's is happening.
Yep.
It's current right now, but right now, right here where I'm at right now, everything's fucking perfect.
Yeah, that's the
You know.
reality you live in is right here.
Hmm.
We all wish that we could change a lot of shit, but the
Hmm.
reality of it is me and you ain't going to change shit.
Right.
Their
Right.
agenda is going to roll forward and they're going to do whatever they want to do no matter what we want to do. So you might
Right.
as well live your life to the fullest that you possibly can and enjoy today. Because yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and you're living in the reality of today.
That's right. Being in the now. I like being
Yeah.
in the now. It's
Yeah.
refreshing. And a lot of people are like, well, you seem so callous, or you don't care, or you're insensitive. No, what the fuck can I do about this shit?
Can't do
You
nothing.
know, there ain't.
I can
What?
improve myself, and I can try and improve for my kids and my friends and my family and the people around me. That's the only thing that I can
Right.
improve.
Now I do. I have to go back. I do try and share experience, strength, and hope, hoping
Sure.
that it helps just one person.
Sure. That's the whole point
Because
of getting on here and talking and showing and things
exactly.
are possible.
Exactly. And we really I'm grateful for even this platform, because I never even thought of growing up that anything like this, other than like
Yeah.
the Jetsons or Star
Yeah.
Trek,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. I heard about it, I knew it was coming, but I didn't think that I would ever make it this fucking far, you
Yeah.
know?
When we were kids, we had to walk down to Billy's house if we wanted to talk and play.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
when
let's
I
see. Let
grew
me.
up, I never heard a video game before. I mean, the old
Yeah,
computer screen syntax error 90 that we learned in high school.
Yeah.
I have to say, I did much enjoy the time before all of this electronic shit.
See, they didn't even have computers whenever I was in high school. When
It
I
was my
attended.
last year that I
Yeah.
graduated. They actually got computers for us
Yeah.
to learn computer literacy, is what they called it.
Yeah. See, back in the day, I remember going to school. Every one of the boys had rifles or shotguns in their
Yep.
trucks.
Yep.
You know, the girls, they had a truck they were carrying too, and
Oh yeah.
we're minors and we're going to
Yeah.
school like this, you know. And when we had a disagreement, well, if we fought it out in the schoolyard, well, we got probably suspended or got licks,
Yep.
that kind of stuff, and we were good the next day.
Yep.
Um, I just never thought that I would actually be living within the stuff. I thought, well,
Yeah.
man, it'll be way gone before then because you just buck ass fucking wild.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it turns out that I'm here, and
Yeah.
this blessing has helped me a lot to be able to
Yeah.
relate and connect with other people that's like minded. I mean, fuck.
Yes. Yeah, that was the big surprise for me is there really are a lot of great people out there, and you can connect with them.
Yeah. Oh wow. All right. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, yeah, cut out on me there for a second. Damn. That's wild. Because we were at an hour and 49 minutes. Now we're back at 12, 13 seconds. Uh, it's a glitch in the matrix.
Yeah,
See, I
they
told
finally
y'all, you
tapped
better
in.
wear your fucking tinfoil hat. I told them. They didn't listen.
Yeah, be careful.
Yeah, exactly. But no, we're about at to the end of it. Anyway, my phone's gonna die here in just a second. But I appreciate you, and I'm glad you came on, and I really hope that we was able to help somebody or touch somebody and cause them to think and take that next step forward that would take courage, and fearlessness and determination and perseverance because it's not an easy life.
No, the
It's
world
not.
is a dangerous place.
Right on, right on. Any last words you want to say to anybody?
Thank you for having me on. I hope everybody enjoyed. Y'all stay safe out there.
If I got him on a line, nan nan boo boo. Well, I tell you what,
Thank you
I
for
love
having
you
me
and your
on,
wife.
Bug Out. I enjoyed it.
You're excellent, and you take it easy. All right.
See y'all later.
Bye, y'all.